and this is HomeLess, a platform designed to address the pressing issue of homelessness by connecting individuals with seasonal housing with homeless individuals. So again, this is HomeLess. Our tagline is every space matters, every person counts.
So Urvashi is the CEO and I'm the CFO. So basically, every idea comes from a problem. And in our case, the problem is homelessness, specifically in the USA. So these are some facts that we collected. For example, reports state that a lot of the homeless shelters are overcrowded and under-resourced. This really is not a sustainable solution because the homeless population is ever growing, which means that the situation in these shelters will only worsen. And additionally, the United States also has approximately 15.1 million vacant homes, which is 10.5% of the country's total housing inventory. So this is due to seasonal housing, which is basically homes that stay empty for the majority of the year because they only live in it during peak vacation season.
So our solution to this is a platform that would connect individuals with vacant housing to homeless individuals looking for accommodations, which would result in fewer crowds in shelters and more accommodations.
So we have two different target audiences. The first one would be homeless people or homeless shelters. So for the homeless individuals that live in the homeless shelters, we are aiming to provide them with more comfortable housing so that they would be able to live in a comfortable place while also helping the homeowners maintain their housing. So this is because the seasonal homes that the owners have, they'll have to pay big bucks to companies to help maintain them and keep it clean. So then if they are able to offer these homes for homeless people to live in, then they'll be able to earn a quick buck as well as be able to spend less money to keep the house maintained. In addition to that, the homeless shelters will also get more funds to be able to spend them on food and clothing, as well as preparing more resources to support the homeless community.
So our number one competitor is Airbnb's Open Homes platform. With their platform, individuals can offer homes to refugees, homeless people, and victims of natural disasters for free. Airbnb partners with nonprofit organizations and resettlement agencies to facilitate on-the-ground support, including assessing the needs and eligibility of potential guests. However, homeless people, our business provides value propositions that Airbnb does not. So one thing that we provide is selection. Homeless people will be able to view homes in their area and find a place on the spot. Currently, no platform exists that provide a direct intake process for individuals in need of emergency assistance. For Airbnb, they have to partner with a lot of NGOs to prove the eligibility of all the applicants for their Open Homes platform, and therefore homeless individuals can be waiting around for months before they're provided with an accommodation.
So adding on to that, we have a wide selection of housing that they can actually choose from. So such as housing that's in a good school district, in a more conveniently accessible place, and so on. And we'll also be helping reduce the amount of vacant housing or unused housing in the U.S. so that this would be both good for the homeowners as they are able to earn a little money, as well as for the homeless people so that they are able to have a more comfortable accommodation. And lastly, for the homeless shelters, as mentioned before, they'll have more funds and resources to be able to provide support to the homeless community.
So these funds can be delegated towards food, clothing, and job fairs for homeless people. They'll have more money to provide these resources and shelters for the homeless people in vacation months when the homes will once again be utilized by their owners. And because they now have funds to promote job fairs, more homeless individuals will be able to gain career paths that will pull themselves out of poverty. So another value proposition our business will offer is company employment and education for children. So all of our employees will be low income or below the poverty line. Because we hope to have part-time employees, we hope to generate disposable income for 3 to 4 individuals. We also plan to tie up with local public and private schools in the area to create high school student-led tutoring clubs for homeless children. This would be a great opportunity for homeless children to receive high-quality education they otherwise wouldn't have access to, and the program would also be a great service opportunity and educational experience for the privileged kids.
So this is a prototype of how the website or the app would look like. This would be the login page both for the homeowners or the homeless individuals. Here, this is the list of housing that the homeless people can choose from. And additionally, there's also a filter so that they can choose which type of housing they want, how much maintenance they were willing to do, and so on. And here, there are the details for the housing where they can click on, and it shows the reviews, how much maintenance there needs to be, and how far it is, and the address, and so on. And lastly, it is very easy for the homeowners to upload pictures of their empty house and be able to offer a listing.
So this is our business model canvas. We're not going to cover all of it because we've already run through most of the stuff. However, for the cost structure for this project to work, we need to first acquire funding to build our website and funding to run it for a few months. Then we need to market the site so that we can get customers and tie it up with government shelters and organizations. Our revenue stream, we'll talk about more in a minute, but we can get money from the homeless shelters when they refer to customers to our app. We can also generate profit from a one-time $1 fee to use the app for homeless individuals. The reason we have this one-time $1 fee is because it's a low amount that the homeless individuals will be able to afford, and it will grant them full access to our app. Eventually, we'll also be able to register a company as a CSR, which we'll talk more about.
So to make sure that the homeowners feel protected and safe, there will be background checks that the homeless shelters that we partner with will do on the homeless individuals before they are able to sign up and pay for housing. Because especially in LA, there's a lot of people with drug problems or unsafe, and which makes the homeowners feel unsafe. Which is why we make sure to have this so that our relationship with the homeowners are strong, as well as the homeowners being assured that, this house that I'm listing is going to be safe, cared for, as well as maintained. Because there will also be random checks, usually around once a month, but you don't know when it is, so that the homeless individuals will be surprised to make sure that the home is maintained, and if not, then they'll unfortunately have to leave and we'll find another tenant.
So this is our cost and revenue. So the cost of developing the site. US app development rates currently hover around $50 per hour for an app with basic to medium user interface, which would mean that our app to develop would cost around a total of $16,000. The cost of running the site, we would have $1,000 to $2,500 spent monthly on maintenance, and $200 hourly for a PR agency to market our site. Our part-time employees, which would be customer service, management, and random checks, we will have volunteers who want to do good for the community, but also we will be paying low-income individuals $500 monthly, which again is just for a disposable income generation for them. And so our profit, we'll have a fee from homeless shelters whenever they refer a homeless person to our site, which is $6 to $60 depending on the shelter, and this will be expanded on further in the next slide.
So basically, the profit generation for safe upkeep ties in with the homeless shelters as well as the one-time fee. And the homeless shelters basically they pay $8 to $40 a week, which is part of our own ongoing profit. And basically, all these profits are only used to keep the site up and running, so that we don't need that much monthly.
So for government funding and grants, because we're assisting the homeless population, we qualify for a lot of grants, which we will apply for. Additionally, after 3 years of running our business, we are able to apply for CSR, which is company social responsibility. And once we receive CSR government funding, this will cover most of the funding for our site and our day-to-day maintenance, so we will generate a larger profit margin. Additionally, for the first 6 months, we are expecting 500 to 200 homeowners and to tie up with 3 to 5 homeless shelters in LA. For the first few months, we're not expecting revenue, as these profits will mostly cover our costs. Within the first year, we're expecting 200 to 400 homeowners and to tie up with 5 to 7 homeless shelters in LA. For our revenue, we're gonna have 300 homeowners with a monthly $5 fee to use our site. And they'll be using the site for roughly 9 months, which would be $13,500. Additionally, we'll have 5 to 7 homeless shelters, and we'll be charging between $20 and $40 per homeless household. As homeless shelters in California currently spend an average of $17,000 on housing one household of 4 people per year, which is $45 a day. We would be offering them housing for a fraction of the price, as 1 year of housing for a family with our program would cost an average of $20 to $40 weekly rather than daily. As a result, we will be making anywhere between $120,000 and $140,000 from these homeless shelters per year.
So take action. The homeless need your help. Thank you for listening. We're now open to questions.
Now we're going to hand it over to the judges.
I have a clarifying question. Why would the home shelter pay the app?
So essentially, these homeless shelters are underfunded and overcrowded. So because they are very overcrowded, they're not able to provide housing for a lot of homeless people that need it. And their number one priority as a homeless shelter is to have all their individuals housed. So they would pay the app because they are currently spending a lot more on housing each of these individuals per day than we would for them. So for example, for one family per year, they spend $17,000 on housing of one family of 4 people. That's $45 a day per family. With our company, we would be when they refer someone to our app, they would only be paying us $45 a week to house these individuals.
Okay, just a point of view. Just if I were a homeless shelter, I have a budget. I pay you at a cell phone, and it doesn't hit my P&L and KPI. So I think there's a little bit of, for me, unless I get government funding to me to pay you. Otherwise, it sounds a bit difficult for me. Okay. Second question: have you talked to homeowners and tried and asked, are they willing to open up their houses or their apartments actually for homeless people? And under your model, have you tested and asked some of them?
Yes, so the people we've discussed this with, because we are providing thorough background checks and regular check-ins with the homeless people to make sure the properties are maintained. And these houses are often not used throughout the months where they're not rented out for vacations in the first place. The individuals we have asked would be willing as they have a lot of seasoning housing options available.
Actually, I have the same question. I think a few of us have the same question: how to persuade the homeowner? Because home is for most of people, the home is the most expensive asset. Yeah, so they would try their best to protect it. Okay. So for this model, is it you guys have only researched the United States, the homeless problem, or you think it's big enough, or the similar model can be applied to other places during your research?
The similar model can definitely be applied to other places. However, we would be starting out within the United States, as the largest homeless population in the United States is in Los Angeles. So that's where we would target originally. Also, to answer the earlier question about how to get the homeowners on board. So another thing that our site contains is that the homeless people would also be maintaining the properties. So currently all these homeowners who aren't using their housing and can't rent them out, they're paying upwards of $500 per month to companies to maintain their properties while they're away. So with our business, they would be able to not only have their homes maintained, but they would also be doing good for their community.
All right, we're